Welcome to the Money Manifestation Mastery Podcast with your host, Lara Waldman, where we talk all things money. Big money, big purpose, big power. Waking up your wealth for heart-centered business owners and entrepreneurs. In today's episode, we are going to be deep diving into quiet, gentle power. This power that is heart, body, soul aligned, knows how to create, knows how to manifest. It's essential that you wake up this part of you and build a healthy relationship with this part of you. Start to trust it, listen to it. It's exceptionally wise. It is your inner genius that is longing to live, longing to create, and we're going to be deep diving into this conversation today. Let's dive in. Landing back from a 2-week holiday with my family in Canada. I've been getting over jet lag, landing back into my business, back into my life in London, feeling grateful for having really beautiful quality time in nature in British Columbia, where I'm from, and also feeling really grateful to be landing back into my life in London and into my business. I love having a break from my business because then I get to really appreciate it more and more when I come back to it. It's similar to having space from my husband. We had 2 weeks apart, and then I come back and feel even more grateful for him and that relationship. Sometimes having space from things helps us to appreciate things more, give us perspective, a new point of view, and fresh new eyes on situations. And this is what I love about holiday, or I love about rest or taking space, because we can come back afresh. This week I've been thinking a lot about power. I spend a lot of time thinking about power when it comes to money, when it comes to business, when it comes to leadership, and how to be better leaders, how to be better humans, how to work with money, business, leadership from a heart, body, soul aligned place where we're deeply serving, when we are coming from a whole, healed, balanced place as much as possible. Of course, we are perfectly imperfect. We are fumbling into our fortune, but working towards being essentially better humans in the world. How can we create more effectively, efficiently, but also from a place of deep connection and care and consciousness? One thing I've been really tapping into is a power that I think goes unseen, unacknowledged, unappreciated. And there's a lack of awareness around this level of power. And it's what I'm calling quiet power or gentle power. The power of your presence, the power of your being. When you are in alignment with your heart, body, and soul, it is incredibly powerful, but not in the traditional sense or in the way that we know power to be. Often we can think of power as force or push or fight or making it happen, this force of energy that creates change. And yes, there is a place for that type of power. It's the action, it's the go, it's the doing, it's the make it happen energy, which we do need as well, and everything in balance. But the power that is, I actually believe, to be even more effective and more powerful than that force or effort power is something that most people aren't aware of. It's the power of being. It's the power of letting go. It's the power of allowing. It's the power of holding space, the power of not doing. It's the flow. And I believe we need to have a balance of both, the doing and the being, the action and the allowing, the making it happen and letting it go, the giving and the receiving, the inhalation and the exhalation. We need both to be in balance. And when it comes to manifestation mastery, a big part of the work that I facilitate is that gentle, quiet power that's going to go unseen, unnoticed, unacknowledged, unheard, that actually makes all of the difference. Yes, you've got to take that action. You got to do the doing. Definitely. I work with high achievers, highly productive people, CEOs, leaders, business owners. You're doing the doing. That's not really the issue. The problem is not trusting in this other place where you can powerfully create. I was on an amazing call with this high-level CEO investor, and he was saying that every time he tries really hard or puts a ton of effort into something, it doesn't usually work out for him in the way that he hopes. And all of the best opportunities that have landed into his life have come from seemingly nowhere. So we were talking about the energetics behind that and why that happens. And yes, as I keep saying, we've got to take the action and do the steps. But the true magic or the most exceptional opportunities are going to come from the unseen, unknown places. My guidance always shows me it's like coming from behind you, that there are doors that are behind you that you need to open. That requires you to go into the unknown. That requires you to let go. That requires you to relax. That requires you to trust. And a part of us, a part of our beautiful brains, really struggle with that. This quiet, gentle power knows how to create, knows how to attract, knows how to receive, and understands the power of your presence, the power of your being, by simply living, simply breathing, simply being you. There is so much power in that. And yet, because you can't necessarily see it, it's not evident, we tend to overlook it. And in our society, that tends to be not valued. We listen to the loudest person in the room, the one that's the most shouty or the most reactive. But I really want to invite you into trusting and holding space for this quiet power, playing the long game. How you show up, how you be, counts for everything. And particularly when you're thinking about the relationships that you're building, your reputation. Actually being the loudest, shoutiest, most reactive person in the room isn't necessarily going to be the path to creating the best relationships or being most respected. But the quiet power plays the long game. The quiet, gentle power plays the long game and is interested in building authentic, genuine, healthy relationships. And we start with you as the business owner, as the entrepreneur, as the human being in the world. This gentle power comes from the depth of your body, your heart's consciousness, your soul, source, the universe, and the planet, nature itself. This power lives inside of you, and it is your birthright. It is who you are. And this work of manifestation mastery, consciously creating your business, your finances, and your life in alignment with your heart, body, and soul, is all about waking up this power, the power of your being, the energy that lives inside of you, and that if given space to breathe and space to live, knows how to create and co-create through connection, through relationships, through conversation. I shut off from this part of myself a very long time ago, from a very young age. And my journey, when I woke up around the age of 18, has been a journey of coming home to remember and awaken this gentle, quiet power inside of me. It took me a long time to trust it, to understand the value of it, to believe in it. And it is my passion to help you fast track your connection, your relationship with this quiet, gentle power. It took me over 20 years to really solidify and trust in this part of myself. And I want to help you to do the same thing. But quiet, gentle power is patient. It allows space and it doesn't rush. It doesn't push, it doesn't force, it allows. It allows space. It allows time. It trusts. It understands the power of connection. And those connections that are in form of relationships can take time to build and establish and to strengthen. And when we're in the game of money and business, we're in the game of building connections and building relationships. When I was shut down from my power, from myself, I isolated myself a lot. I hid. I withdrew. I found connection and conversation and community really, really difficult. I went deep into my inner world, deep into the spiritual world. And that was actually a really important time for me to come back home to myself, come back into connection. But essentially, I was scared of human beings. I felt very sensitive and I didn't feel safe in the world. I didn't feel safe in life. I built a sense of safety and connection through meditation, through healing, through hanging out with very spiritual people. But when it came to really landing and grounding into life, I would freeze and I would flight. I would withdraw. And I was looking for safety. I was looking for home. I was looking for a safe place to be myself. And I needed to learn to trust that it was safe to be me, to be fully in my body, to be fully in life, to then be fully in my business, fully in my bank account, that I was safe to be here, that I was safe to receive. Because it requires vulnerability to receive. It requires vulnerability to be connected to your gentle, quiet power and a trust and an openness. So it took me quite a long time to really, really trust in this. And it's an ongoing journey, to be honest with you, because every time I step into a new level, there's a new level of visibility or a new level of leadership or a new level of business growth, I'm always up against that edge and that old self that's trying to protect herself, to stay safe, that doesn't know if she's safe. It's kind of on that edge of risk, the edge of the unknown. This can still come up for me. But it's really about taking space to listen and to feel into that power within, that heart, body, soul aligned power, that heart, body, soul aligned consciousness, and let it lead. One of the energy plays I like to use is to say, what does my energy know that my mind doesn't know? What does my energy know that my brain doesn't know? Because our brains, our minds have a very limited point of view and perspective of what's possible. And our energy, our energetic awareness, that gentle, quiet power has so much more awareness around what is possible. And it wants to expand. It wants to grow. It wants to merge. It wants to create. It wants to connect and come into life and grow and blossom from there. My practice is always to hold the part of myself that goes into fear, survival, not enough, the scarcity, and to listen to this quiet, gentle power, that heart, body, soul aligned consciousness, and ask it to show me what's possible. What are you guiding me into next? Where are the openings? Where are the doors? Where are the opportunities that I cannot see? Where is the money that you cannot see? Show me, lead me, guide me. And letting that consciousness move you through. It is so powerful. It is so powerful. And part of this game is learning to trust in that, learning to listen to that part of you, building a relationship with that part of you, and then being patient. Because the results from this quiet, gentle power, when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to consciously creating, don't necessarily happen instantly. Yes, some things do. Some things land in. I had a conversation with this man who said, Lara, every time I connect with you, something that's been stuck manifests within the next 24 hours. So it is possible to have really fast, amazing results and breakthroughs quickly. I've had many, many clients have exceptional results very quickly. So we're always open to magical manifestation and fast action manifestation. But some things take time to build, to create, to allow in. If you're thinking about relationships, for example, with potential clients or customers, it takes time to build those relationships. It takes time to build trust. Think about any relationship that you have or that you're in. We got to play the long game. There's many touch points that are required to build trust, to build a relationship. When I think about my best friends, these relationships have been going for 20 years plus. These relationships take time to build and build and build. So we got to play the long game and play the bigger game. Lack and scarcity, the survival brain will have you rushing, will have you making very reactive decisions, and will often have you using that power against yourself. So many people go into push, force, hustle, right? Or many people go into freeze and running away, hiding under the duvet. So this is a work in progress, listening to your quiet, gentle power. This is about you building a relationship of trust with this part of yourself. But please know, even though it might be nonverbal, unseen, do not be mistaken. It is exceptionally powerful, exceptionally powerful. And it is time to bring this into balance. So we have the quiet, gentle power, that the power of your being, and that action power, the one that's going to go and create and make things happen. We need to bring them into balance and harmony and union. So I would love to know what's landing for you in today's conversation. I wonder what your quiet, gentle power is saying to you. I would love to hear. Please let me know. Let me know what's landing for you. And if you would like any support connecting to this part of yourself, this powerful manifester within, I'd love to invite you to come over to my website, larawaldman.com. We have a lot of resources for you there. But if you haven't already, apply for one of my free wealth expansion sessions. This is an opportunity for us to connect one-to-one on Zoom for free. We have a heart-to-heart, soul-to-soul conversation. We can support you with where you're blocking or stopping this innate power inside of you and help you unlock it. Let it live and let it create. It would be my great pleasure and honor to support you with this. So thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe or follow this podcast to never miss an episode. And I look forward to being with you again next time.